Hello, welcome to Library Connection. I'm Mandy Cantrell, Youth Services Director at the B.B. Comer Memorial Library. I'm glad to be here today, and I want to thank Robert and everyone at TV 47 for allowing us to put on this program. I'm very excited today. I've got Greg Holtzclaw joining me. He is the President, let me say it right, East Highland School National Alumni Association President. I had to write that down.
Praise God.
Greg. Yes, well, I'm so glad you're here today. Thank you for joining me.
Amen. Glad to be here.
Good, good. A few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, I interviewed Linda Dixon about some markers that were put up in town, and one of them was at the site where East Highland School was.
Amen.
And
Amen.
so she said, why don't you have Greg Holtzclaw on him? I thought that was a great idea. So we've gotten together now.
Amen. Well, Miss Dixon, she spearheaded quite a few of the historical things for us, and we're thankful for her as she, well, you know, she taught at East Highland.
Yes, I
School,
do.
you know.
I do know. Yeah, that's great. Well, tell our viewers about yourself a little bit.
As she said, I'm Gregory Holtzclaw, the President of East Highland National Alumni Association. I was elected to that position in 2014 at one of our grand reunions, which we have triannually every 3 years. And I was born and raised here in Sylacauga. I'm a 1971 graduate of Sylacauga High School. Yeah. I went to East Highland for my 7th through 11th grade year. Okay. And then the integration came, and East Highland became the middle school, so I graduated from Sylacauga High School. Okay. 1971. Played football, basketball at both East Highland and Sylacauga High. At East Highland for Coach Haywood Sisson. Yes. And at Sylacauga High for Coach Tom Calvin. Oh. And I don't know whether you know it, but both of those high school coaches are in the Alabama High School Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame. Oh,
Amen.
wow.
So
that's great.
I don't know how many young men has that treasure.
That's
to
great.
Having played for two high school Hall of Fame coaches.
That's great.
I'm a 22-year retired Army veteran. I spent 3 tours in Korea, 1 in Germany, stationed all over the United States. Wow. And I'm here. I'm a husband, 5 children, 9 grandchildren, and 7 great-grandchildren.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Amen. Serve as a member and a deacon and Sunday school teacher at Mount Zion Baptist Church here in Sylacauga.
Wow. Well, that is quite a lot, and thank you for your service to our country. We do appreciate that.
Amen.
So
well, let me thank you for providing a worthy democracy to serve.
Wow.
And it's truly worthy. I know it's a lot going on, but it's a worthy democracy.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, great. Tell me, how did the East Highland Alumni Association form? I mean, has it always been here? I know it hasn't always been, but how did that come to be?
Well, you had, over time, many of the classes, the class of 61, 62, 66, different classes from East Highland, they were having their individual class reunions. Right. And so one of the members from one of the classes, and Miss Ernestine Crumpler Garrett, after participating in a class reunion or two, the idea of a grand reunion came up in her, and so she discussed it with her sister back here, Miss Glenda Crumpler Gaines, Miss Davis, Florence Carpenter. There were several people here. She was in New York, but several people back here. She engaged them, and they formed a planning committee, and so they planned and came up with the idea of the grand reunion, and they had the first grand reunion in 1981.
Now that was all of the classes from East Highland.
All of the classes, yeah, all alumni, and Miss Garrett went out. You know, she had the means to probably make these long distance calls. Yes. And she asked her sister for a Sylacauga phone book. Okay. And she knew that the parents, if no one else, would know where their children were. Yes. And so she reached out to families and parents, and all she needed was one member of the family, you know, to get in touch with all of the rest of them. And so in 1981, they had the first grand reunion. Goodness. And it probably, they had it at J. Craig, and it was probably, I'm sure, over 1,000 people that came and participated in it. And so, and at that time, they had a triennial meeting. They elected officers. They decided they would do it every 3 years. Okay. And so the Grand Reunion of East Highland School National Alumni Association has been going on since 1981.
That's
now,
wonderful.
It was East Highland High School and over the years, in thinking about trying to include others and that went to the high school, the high was dropped, and so it became East Highland School.
Okay.
And what that's about is including each and every one that has went through
Right.
East Highland School.
Right.
And they're all eligible because of that. To be charter members,
Okay.
Honorary members. But we try and get everyone. Want to be all inclusive of everyone that ever participated at East Highland School.
Because when it ceased to be a high school, it was 7th and 8th grade.
Yes.
For the school system. So, and I went there 7th and 8th grade. Yeah, it was a great school.
Amen.
A lot of
Amen.
fun, a lot of fun. So now I know that is quite a job. If you've ever helped plan a class reunion, phone calling, and this was before the days of email, things like that.
Yes.
That's a lot of phone call, a lot of phone calls, a lot of time, and a lot of money. But it was well worth it.
Yes, ma'am. You know, you got the hearts of people that are purpose driven, and it really speaks to the quality and of the students that went through East Highland School, their education and how they, and I know we'll talk about some of it in a little bit, but more than the fact that it was a great football, basketball, track school, but in all facets of our society, a lot of great people graduated from East Highland School and went on to be statespeople.
Yeah, and they're all over the country. Is that right? The alumni.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that is exciting.
Yes.
It's neat. Well, so you formed it, and do y'all meet? I guess you can't really if everybody's all over the country, but you have a board of directors, things like that.
Yes, we have a board of directors, and each triennial meeting, you have every grand reunion, you have a triennial meeting where you discuss the business of the association that has gone on for the previous 3 years.
Okay.
And you elect officers. We what ended up happening, the grand reunion led into the president at that time, Bill Grimmett, along with Willard Hart and Frank McNeely. They set out to get the high school placed on the historical register.
Yes, yes.
And in that same process, they went about getting East Highland to be identified as a 501c3 nonprofit organization.
Okay, good.
And so that's what we are right now, 501c3 organization. So each and every 3 years we elect officers. That board of directors run the organization between the time, makes the decisions, for the organization.
Yes, yes.
We have, and at one time we had 5 or 6 chapters located in Cleveland, Detroit, California, Washington, Atlanta, and Silicaga.
Wow.
And so, and they met, and so that's how they stayed in touch. They reached out. Each triennial, each grand reunion, they would come in and make reports and, make contributions and things of that nature.
How much fun to see friends that have moved away and they've come back. I know I've enjoyed my class reunions, and I know at a grand reunion when you see everybody, your classmates, some older, some younger, I know it is a lot of fun.
Yes, it is. And we right now we have, and over the years as people are getting older, and that's why it's important for us to get the high school students involved and middle school students involved. Because as we get older and we go, older ones move off the scene. But right now we have a local chapter here in Silicaga, and the president of that one is Willie Joe Olden.
Okay.
And we have a Cleveland chapter, and the president of that chapter is Diane Teague. And what has happened is, even though chapters have, closed, members from around the country involve themselves, or they connect to those chapters to stay, active and involved. But you're right, it takes a lot, but we're talking about, purpose-driven people. And, each year, it's something to look forward to. We missed it last year because of the pandemic. We're probably going to have to postpone it, or we have to postpone it again this year because we know that even though we may be getting better and people are getting vaccinated, we haven't reached that herd status that they want us to be at. So, but we're looking forward to it.
Good. It'll be so much more fun, I guess, when you've had to delay it, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
Now, do you also, I know not sure if you're meeting, and that's kind of hard to do all over the place, but what else do y'all do here? Do you give scholarships? I think I read something about that.
Yes, so, once the Grand Reunion started in 1981, the idea of the scholarship program came forth. Wow. And so in 1982, they started giving scholarships. And we've given scholarships every year. Wow. From 1982 up until last year.
Right.
We didn't do it.
Well, everything was crazy last year.
Yeah. But we did, last year
great.
we were still able to. We weren't able to do it this year because of, for many obvious reasons.
Right.
Children in and out of school and virtual and this and that. A little challenging maybe to get in touch with counselors. So we just forego.
It'll come back.
But we, yes, and it just gives us an opportunity because it's by, donations and contributions.
Sure.
And it gives us a chance to, raise some funds so we can continue to do that great work of assisting children in, furthering their education.
That's wonderful. We're going to pause for a commercial break, and we'll be right back and talk some more with Greg.
It's time for the 13th Annual Sylacauga Magic of Marble Festival, April 6th through the 17th. See sculptures from around the nation at Central Park. Take part in the Marble Scavenger Hunt beginning March 29th. Explore the B.B. Comer Memorial Library Marble Room and Sales Room. For more information, go to magicofmarblefestival.com or call 256-249-0961. Experience the Magic of Marble, April 6th through April 17th.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
The Sylacauga Magic of Marble Festival proudly highlights our local marble industrial leader, Emrys Omya, and Sylacauga Marble Quarry AM3. Emrys specializes in the processing of calcium carbonate for industrial use. Omya is a leading global producer of industrial minerals from calcium carbonate. AM3 Stone strives to provide the highest quality products for construction and architectural design.
Hello, welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Greg Holtzclaw, who is the president of the East Highland School National Alumni Association. Now, we were talking about some things y'all do. You give scholarships, but there are some other things your chapter does.
Yes, we do. One of the things we got involved in as East Highland went away and Nicholas Lawson came, we adopted Nicholas Lawson at that school, and we built a trophy case as an association that we share with the middle school.
Yes.
We also, Paula Bruno, the assistant principal there, who was the daughter of Paul Cook and Doris McGee, who are alumni of East Highland. Okay. She had a monthly mentoring program that she started at Nicholas Lawson, and she called us in. So we did mentoring at Nicholas Lawson Middle School.
That is wonderful.
And we was also fortunate enough with the David Grimmick. Reverend David Grimmick came up. He's an alumni, class of 65. He got with Dr. Freeman, the superintendent, and we were able to get Mountain View Elementary School in 2015.
Yes.
And we set up programs like drums, keyboard lessons. Miss Renfro came from the museum and taught art. Yeah. We had crafts. We had Zumba. We had dance. We did, recitals and the spoken word. We just had all kind of wonderful activities that we were able to bring forth at Mountain View with the help of, and it was all by donation contributions and volunteerism. Okay.
That is wonderful, because so many people can't afford the dance or can't get there to take dance or things like that, and it's good to get a little taste of it to find out if that's what they want to do.
Yes, and see, because not all the children are athletes. We got basketball, football, and all, but you got the the other arts and things that kids, but they never get. We ain't pushing and like you said, many of them are not able to afford, the cost of some of them. So we were able to do that, and even right now, as the city had the school, and they're considering doing some renovating, and they've asked us to consider coming back into that school and put those same, programs on, which is what we wanted to do at East Highland. At one time, we tried to get the school before it was torn down,
Yes.
We did all the cleanup. We never could acquire that property, but we were able to do those type things at Mountain View.
Wow, that's great. Well, Greg, you sent me a lot of snapshots and things. Let's look at those slides. Okay, just tell. Yeah, well, who is this?
All right. As I said earlier, we had a lot of great alumni that went through East Highland School. This is a picture of one of the alumni, Harold Looney, a football player, athlete from East Highland, a retired CW warrant officer in the military, and he had the pleasure of working at the White House, as you can see, for two of our past presidents, President Reagan and President Carter.
Oh, that's exciting.
And this is Mr. Lawson's old house, his home. We were able to acquire that property as an association, and we named it the office.
Okay.
And that name came about because when you got in trouble at East Highland with one of them teachers wanted you discipline, all they had to do was say, just go to the office.
Go to the office.
And you knew you was finna have an encounter with Mr. Lawson or Mr. Larkin.
Yes, okay.
Now in that house, Mr. Lawson house, we've the class pictures that we have the class pictures from 1964 through 1970, and we basically turned that house into a museum where we can house all the memorabilia and artifacts that we can get our hands on from East Highland School. That is a better picture of the school. This here photo was given to us by the Richards Emery family. Those are two young ladies that graduated that have passed on, and their brother decided to do this photo. And so, that's one of the families that on a regular basis, they make contributions toward the scholarship program, and they are financing scholarships in memory of their loved ones.
Oh, that's wonderful.
This here is the locking room, the band room. Mr. Larkin was over the band institution in the school, and we got it set up as one of the rooms in the Lawson house in memory of Mr. Larkin. Wow. Those are all the past presidents of the association, along with Miss Ernestine Garrett there, who spearheaded the beginning of it. And you have Miss Florence Carpenter was the first one, Miss Maxine Goodgame Moon, and both of them have passed on. Bill Grimmett, and then now myself, and now Miss Ernestine Garrett, and then Maxine Miller.
Okay.
And that's a picture that's taken in the kid room. There's Miss Ernestine Crumpler as a high school graduate there.
Right.
The Highlander, you may be familiar with the Highlander. That was the yearbook from the middle school.
Yes, I remember.
You also have to the right there's Pete Vincent. I want to say Mr. Samuel Jackson up there, top right. Okay. You see that plate in the center with the picture of the school? We've used that at different times as a fundraiser since the school is gone. Anything we can get a picture of the school on and try to use it as a fundraising idea. And it's worked out well for us. It's something that's been created by Dorothy Grimmett, Tiger Grimmett, which is one of the younger Grimmett sisters, and she went through the middle school as well.
Oh, great ideas. And this is Miss Kidd.
Miss Bernice Kidd. She taught typing, and again, one of those institutions, and this is in her room there in the Lawson house.
Great.
That's a picture of the 1970 2A state basketball champion. The East Highland won the state championship the last year of the high school.
East Highland Indians, yes.
Yes. And what we're looking at here is it's a memorabilia. The museum had wanted to put together a display of East Highland School, and so Glenda Gaines and Dorothy Grimmett and we got together and we took different pictures and photos and stuff down to the museum. Okay. And if you get a chance to go in the museum, you'll be able to view that display.
Good, good.
This here's a picture of when the historical marker that's now placed at the site of the old East Highland School. Right. It was dedicated in the council chamber back in August. I mean, it took us a while because of the pandemic to be able to. Normally we'd have did that dedication, at the site, but because of the pandemic and you had limited space in the chamber. Right. But what you see is you see Charles McGowan, he's the treasurer of the local chapter, Diane Wyckoff, the treasurer of the national chapter, Willie Oden, the president of the local chapter, Glenda Gaines, one of my vice presidents, myself, my wife Jackie, who's assistant secretary. Yeah. You see one of the council people, Miss Dixon is there, the mayor, Mayor Heigl, who has been quite supportive, as well as Dorothy Grimmett.
Great, that's wonderful.
And that's pictures of, again, that's that display at at the museum.
at
It's
the
displaying.
museum.
This is Jordan Moon, one of our banquets. We recognize our young people and some of the great things they're doing as young people there.
That's great.
These are pictures of when they were tearing down the school, and we took pictures of it, and Mr. Older and I went and collected a lot of the bricks there, which we're using to, again, fundraising. And
Sure.
this is a Letterman's jacket that was given to us by Herman Johnson, which we put in a case, and it's there in the SISM room. We had a SISM sunroom there at the Lawson House.
And that's named for Haywood Sissom?
Coach Haywood Sissom, the coach there, and he was a coach of some great football athletes from Derry Lee Holtzclaw, the years back in the 50s, the Richard Owens, the Grimmets, Alvin Griffin and Cecil Leonard, both drafted in the pros. Wow. Alvin went to the Falcons, Cecil to the Jets, Johnny, and they all matriculated, many of them, to colleges, the historical black colleges at that time. Yeah. Tuskegee, Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Talladega College.
That's great.
And not only, and again, we're looking at the memorabilia and some of the different things that we have stored. And what it speaks to is the type of alumni, the famous alumni, like soldiers like myself. There are many of them, living and deceased, that served in our military, from the rank of colonel all the way down, to private. How we had young men, Dr. Shelton Riggins, Dr. Ricky Player, Dr. Jerome O'Neill, that became doctors. We had lawyers, Carmen McArath, or even Bethany Embry, one of the young people. So throughout the years, we had people of the arts. I talked about Bill Grimmett, but it was a school. Even though we were a great powerhouse when it came to athletics, we were a powerhouse when it came to other areas in our society. Whether it was art, sports, medicine, the
academics,
military.
all of
I won't talk about the ministry and how many of them became pastors, preachers, teachers, and,
that's great.
And they pastored many of our churches here in the community.
Wow.
That's a portrait of Mr. Lawson. We had a Lawson room. We also have a room that's dedicated to his wife, the kitchen. Mrs. Lawson, she taught home economics at the high school.
Wow,
and this is a picture of East Highland Elementary School, the first school that was built probably back in 1945, that housed the first school for black children. In my studies, with the help of Miss Joe and Miss Nelda in the library, I was able to go back and see where probably as early as 1912 or 13, they were having council meeting discussing whether we had a black school or a Negro school at the time. And so through the years, even though they had schools for black children in the churches and things, the first school was built in 1945, East Highland Elementary School.
It's quite a long history. That's great. We're going to pause for another commercial break, and we'll be right back.
It's time for the 13th Annual Sylacauga Magic of Marble Festival, April 6th through the 17th. See sculptures from around the nation at Central Park. Take part in the Marble Scavenger Hunt beginning March 29th. Explore the B.B. Comer Memorial Library Marble Room and Sales Room. For more information, go to magicofmarblefestival.com or call 256-249-0961. Experience the magic of marble April 6th through April 17th.
Marble City Pharmacy in Sylacauga is your destination for the highest quality health care. Our knowledgeable pharmacists are always available for questions about your medications or advice on taking over-the-counter products and supplements. Our friendly staff can assist you in choosing from our full lines of compression hose and medical equipment. And don't forget our gift department. We have a great selection of unique gifts for every occasion. Stop by and see us today. Marble City Pharmacy, here for life.
The Sylacauga Magic of Marble Festival proudly highlights our local marble industrial leader, Emrys Omya and Sylacauga Marble Quarry AM3. Emrys specializes in the processing of calcium carbonate for industrial use. Omya is a leading global producer of industrial minerals from calcium carbonate. AM3 Stone strives to provide the highest quality products for construction and architectural design.
Welcome back to Library Connection. I'm talking with Greg Holtzclaw, who is the National President of the East Highland School Alumni Association. That's still a mouthful. I enjoyed seeing all the slides from the house, the office there. I know that was hard to decide who to honor because there's so many wonderful people who taught there, were principals there, who went through the school. I know that was difficult.
Yeah, it was a bit challenging, but there were many that put their footprints on the lives of everybody that came through, and many of them, whether you were in their class or not, they left those footprints. And you know, we've talked about Coach Silsum and football coach, but not only did he coach football, but he taught history, and he was a superintendent at Mount Zion Missionary Baptist Church.
Oh,
so
okay.
when, you know, if he saw you on Monday at football practice and didn't see you at church on Sunday, you had to, you know, kind of respond to that. But then you had Mr. Bernard Dean Showers was his assistant coach, and at the time it was only a couple of coaches, man, and they coached every position, you know, every player, you know, every position, and we had Miss Davis, Miss Manetta Davis was one of the teachers there that, and the teachers then they gave you this feeling of teaching was more of probably a ministry to them, than, you know, cause you know, they taught, and when you had trouble. You know, they could recognize a child that may have been struggling a bit, and then they'd ask you to come back after school. And you go back after school, and I'm sure back then they probably didn't have no thing called overtime. But they were just so concerned about your learning that they, you know, they would put their time in. So you had Miss Davis, you had, you know, Miss Jessica Turner who taught chemistry, and you know, it's just a host of them. Mr. Lawson. Even as he became the principal, I think the school was not going to the 12th grade at that time. Okay. But Mr. Lawson ushered in, you know, the 12th grade and the accreditation of the high school. Yeah. And he also served as the president of the Teacher Association in the state. Oh, and, okay, I realized Mr. that. Lawson was the guy that caused and helped many of those states people I talked about go to college, you know. But he was that concerned and helped them. And then they necessarily had to be here from off to Alabama State. But, you know. But we have a room for Miss Davis there. And also we recognized a young man that taught, I mean, he was our custodian, Mr. Bremont Lawler. And he drove our school, you know, the bus when we had to go out on events and things. So we created a storage closet, and so we got it dedicated to Mr. Bremont Lawler as well.
I think that is wonderful because every kid in the school knows the custodian and loves them, and they work very hard. That is so nice. That is so nice.
Yes. So, and those are some, and like I said, we talked about, you know, the later on in later years, the Richard Threet, which was my brother-in-law, and what a great athlete, Albert Young. Older years, Bernard Gunn, and you know the Grimmets, Johnny Grimmett, Jay Grimmett, David Grimmett. Johnny Grimmett, probably at Tuskegee was such a great quarterback that he came up in the Heisman conversation, you know, back in the, you know, 68, 69 era. So,
well, Greg, I tell you, I think we could talk for hours on this. This is very interesting. I'm enjoying this. Maybe somebody could give you a call or look it up on Facebook if they wanted to know more information or get in touch. That'd be great. We'll do that.
Can.
And we are almost out of time, but thank you so much for coming today. I've enjoyed discussing East Highland School and all that it meant to me and the people in this community. So
Amen. We thank you for having us, and we thank you for this opportunity to showcase this association. And just know that if you, you know, if you went through East Highland School, high, middle, then you're invited to be a part of this association. Great. And as we move forward to continue to give scholarships and mentoring and being community support, you know, we'll take this opportunity to solicit any, you know, donations and contributions that you would like to share with us. And the address for the association is Post Office Box 2479, Sylacauga, Alabama, and address it to EHS-NAA. And we'll gladly receive those.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Greg, and thank you for joining me on Library Connection.